I had a good analogy, and you know me, I love that. But it came after I thought of one that wasn't as good. So but I can't remember what the good one was. So I'll do the one that's not as good. So this sucks. The Cowboys are like a cop who pulled you over and hit on your wife, but then later you need them because there's someone robbing your house, right? Like
Uh,
today we didn't need them, we didn't like them, but next
mm.
week we'll need them. But there's a better one than that, and I'm gonna think of it by the end of this pod
Well,
because
I
that
tell
was.
you what, it couldn't be worse.
I like starting a pod with this sucks.
Yes.
Here we go.
Hey, the pods after a win always suck. I don't
Mhm.
want to throw anyone off. I don't want it to be good. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Did the Bills actually lose? No, they won. They
Well, it's,
won. They won
if you've
good.
been listening to the pod all season, it's like all three of us have said all season long. The Bills are good. Everything's
That's
everything's
right.
fine.
As
And
stated many, many times, everything's gonna be fine.
Something we have said
Mhm,
all year, which finally happened today.
mhm.
I believe Greg was saying this all year too. I think James Cook should touch the ball 30 times a game every game.
I don't know. Was I saying that? Congrats to me. I don't remember saying that, but if I did, it was in a feverish
he,
haze.
Well,
he
what
should catch 20 passes a game and run the
That,
ball 10.
yes.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what? Here's my, if you want to throw some negativity on it, which we
I
do
do.
every once in a
I
while.
always
I
do.
do. I'm
I'm
listening.
listening, and the hunt is listening.
Go on.
A lot of people, we've talked for ages about how embarrassing it was in the Denver game to 12 men on the field. They kick another field goal, they get it. But let us not forget if Cook wasn't benched for half of
Mm,
that Denver game, maybe that's another oopsie doopsie coaching decision that probably cost us the Denver game is just sitting him on the bench for pretty much a full half.
that's a
So
good
there,
one.
see, we could do
I,
some negativity in a big win.
I am
Hey,
sad. Yeah.
I'm not going to let winning distract me from the fact that McDermott sucks.
I'm not gonna let a big victory change who we are as people.
So they ran like three times as much as they passed, and I had a tweet that I wouldn't do, but I'll do it on this pod because I know the
Hey, I don't
listeners will
have a
be in the
tweet of the
hunt.
game, so this is the tweet of
This
the
this is
game.
the tweet of the game that didn't happen. Just I'm half-assing everything. I can't think of my intros, and I wouldn't do this tweet. With them running so much, McDermott hasn't been this erect since 9/11.
Nice.
That's
There
not
it
good.
is.
It's not. There was better ones. Yeah.
Um, what a win. One of
Yeah.
the most fun wins of the season. Can we
Oh,
say that?
I don't even think it's close.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
The
don't.
Dolphins one was fun.
Yeah, Dolphins
This
win
one
was
Yeah,
fun.
it
seemed
was
more.
fun.
This was the stakes are bigger, so this one was more fun, and it
Mhm.
was totally like, whoa! I was like so calm.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, did you leave at half? Did you stay through the whole game in the rain?
No, we made it to the fourth quarter. Um,
Mm.
right when it started raining and James Cook scored that last touchdown
Mhm.
is when we were like, all right, this is us now. We're out of here. That was it just started raining, so it was like the perfect excuse. And like I've explained before, they're up at that point 31 to 3. I'm either going to continue to watch the Bills dominate or watch one of the greatest comebacks in the NFL history and be
You
it'd be
can't
mad. So I
lose.
might as well go
Yeah.
home.
It ain't
Um,
gonna get any better.
a lot
Well,
of
yeah.
I feel like we haven't done this in a while because the season has been so topsy-turvy, but a lot of boners of the game out
Hmm.
there
Hmm.
Yeah.
tonight. I have a lot of runner-ups, but I'm gonna go just that entire first drive of the second half because that's what we've been kind of wanting for most of the season, where it's like it only ended in a field goal, but it's like, hey, they can't stop the run, so just keep doing that. Like when you find something that's working, just keep doing that thing over and over again. It took up almost the entire third quarter and it just ended the game.
I
Yeah,
love it.
I've said for years, and it's I feel like people misunderstand what I'm saying
No,
is
that can't be.
yeah. I've said for a long time now, I don't want the Bills to run the ball more all the time.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this is a one-off kind of game. You go,
Yeah.
this game plan worked. They couldn't stop it. All I've ever said is imagine what Josh Allen could do with an elite running game
Hmm.
where you can run the ball at will, and then for those times you just can't, then you can throw the ball at will because you have Josh Allen.
Hmm.
And I think this is the closest the Bills have ever been to having that. They can run on most teams, any team really, and it's an effective running game. And they can also obviously still throw the ball. And so this is interesting to watch it finally happen.
I think
And
it's
for
bigger
all,
than that. I think it's bigger than that because they didn't run the ball. Like, I don't know how well they've done it this season. There's probably metrics on that. That's not the pod for this. This game though, it looked like that was like the Terrell Davis Broncos. You like even if you knew they were running, which I figure by the middle of the second quarter, Dallas is like, oh, they're just going to run on us all game. They couldn't do shit. And they were just ripping off 7, 11,
Mhm.
14, 8. They they just ran like it was their job, which it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I told you the pod's gonna suck. They won.
It's their
I'm not gonna
it's
have good analogies.
it's their job to run the ball, just like it's our job to podcast. Our
Yeah.
Yes.
main job.
I don't know what else to do.
Th-
I was put on this earth to do two things: to have bad analogies and do a podcast. And I'm all out of bad analogies. That's not true. I have
the
more.
you could tell this NFL season is weird because going into this game, people were like, could Prescott be a possible MVP? And I feel like anyone who's watched football in their entire lives was like, no.
No.
Like he's not like terror. He's a solid tier 2 quarterback. You could win a
Yeah.
Super Bowl with him, and he's solid, but he's not like the guy. If he ever wins an MVP, it's because 10 9/11s happened in
Yeah.
varying NFL cities, like, and
And
pleasing McDermott and
somewhere
whatnot.
McDermott's sitting in his basement smiling about it.
Like it would be because
He's
like
not smiling. He's just appreciating how well that was executed. He's like, "Oh, I'm so mad, but man, you gotta give him credit.
He now he's gonna have
That's some
analogies.
good 9/11 in."
He's gonna call Greg up. I heard in the hunt last week that analogy sucked. Have you tried 9/11?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. He's gonna try and say how good like my analogy was that it was just another 9/11. That's how
we
bad it
we
was.
got to get
So,
t-shirts made and try to have McDermott sign down. Now that's good 9/11.
oh,
That's t-shirts.
that's good 9/11.
Oh, that's a good.
If we
Um,
ever do a second t-shirt, I'll actually deliver them again. I told you I'd never do that again. If you make a t-shirt
uh,
with McDermott saying, "Now that's some good 9/11 in," I'll fucking walk to people's houses and deliver those
well,
things.
you certainly can't fly to their houses. I tell you that much. Okay, we got to get this pod back on track. I'm just saying, Dak Prescott is pretty good, but there's no way he's an MVP
yeah.
quarterback. And Greg, are you okay?
I'm absolutely not okay because all I can picture is I'm going on Cafe Press like immediately after this and doing that t-shirt to at least make one.
Um, I mean, yeah, just a complete fun game. Other possible boners of the game, that Diggs one-handed grab,
That was
that was
pretty
nice.
that was good because I wouldn't call it my B of the game, but cool just because you want everything to be right, like going into like if they're gonna make the playoffs, which still a lot of work to be done. We can talk about that later. You want everything to be right and you want him to be right, and just him having a moment, I think, is important.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Uh,
that was good.
how about that Deion Dawkins blocking that guy for like 20 yards? I don't know if you saw that clip. That's fun.
Yeah. That Josh let him spike the ball. That was pretty big.
Yeah.
Seeing like
I'm not giving an offensive lineman
I know,
boner
but sometimes you gotta appreciate the guys in the trenches.
and
I know you're a
appreciate it.
trench guy.
no, they're trench guys because they don't want to be appreciated. That's their whole thing. They hate
Yeah.
appreciation.
Every once in a while, you gotta throw him a bone. That's all I'm saying. Gotta throw him a
All right.
B of the game.
You
Well,
can throw mirrors then.
Okay, maybe I will. You don't think there's some offensive linemen
uh,
listening to this and go, when are we gonna get
No,
Finally, we need a boner of the game.
I'm just trying to be controversial so people keep listening.
Um,
Things have really tapered off after the McDermott t-shirt thing. So I'm trying to reel him back in, and that's what they call in the business. The James Cook flipping into the end zone touchdown, just how like amazingly that developed. All of a sudden he is
mhm.
going into the end zone untouched. It's just you don't see the ball run like that. He's really good, but the whole team was just on like
Yeah.
fire with that run game.
I'm gonna go the James Cook catch for a
It was
touchdown.
nice.
I thought that was a nice little, and you know me. I
How
love
con
a running back catching a ball. That's just
how
my type of game.
Yeah.
how contrarian of you.
And well, you know what? Here's a big thing we should talk about. Josh Allen threw for less than 100 yards.
Hmm
Problem? Is this
Mm.
quarterback controversy?
Yeah. He'll probably want to
Um,
get traded now.
I don't know. There's not much to say on this game. I will say in the first half, sometimes games like this become a runaway because you get a little bit of good fortune. And there were three penalties in the first half that really saved our bacon. We were outplaying the Cowboys, I think, the entire game. I still feel fairly confident we would have won, but the roughing on Allen, the roughing the punter, and the roughing on Shakir were all like gigantic, they all led to touchdowns. We all kept the ball and led to touchdowns. Like
The
that's
difference between
huge.
that being a block punt return for a touchdown and a first down for the Bills
Yep.
was huge. And you're right about that. I think I'm thinking of like a Chiefs fan who doesn't want the Bills to make the playoffs because you want to like get the three-peat or whatever.
Mhm.
Just like, oh yeah, they get everything. That wasn't a real roughing the kicker. He just ran into him, and that wasn't rough. Like I picture
Yeah.
the rest of the NFL, anyone that doesn't like the Bills having some fun with that after the week we had last week.
I don't understand the
Oh.
roughing the kicker rule. Like I understand, don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
like I feel like if you're close enough to the ball, it shouldn't be a penalty.
No, it's a dumb penalty.
It's a dumb penalty,
And I
We
right?
think
should the kicker
it's
should not be treated like 8-year-olds you can't touch.
right.
Like
But it's
they're
to
just
protect the
like
kicker
they're
so they don't want their legs flying into the second row, you
Hey,
know?
don't be a kicker.
yeah, don't be a kicker. Don't play football. Do
Stop
something
kicking a
else.
football around. Yeah, do something you know what you
Oh,
can do.
you want to make $2 million a year and work uh 3 times a week? Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Oh, but what if sometimes, very rarely, a guy will hit you? Ah, I'm out. I don't
Yeah.
want to get hit
Hey, you don't want your leg to
once a
get hurt?
month.
You know whose legs don't get hurt? Dentists. Go be a dentist, punter. You'd be safe then.
Take anything from this podcast. It's all punters should be dentists and vice versa.
If they don't want to get hurt,
Yeah.
Yeah.
give me all the tough punters that don't care that they won't be able to walk when they're 40.
Um,
Those are
so
the guys I want on my team.
So before we talk about the playoff picture, anything else on that? I mean, it was a fun. It's almost as we've said before, tough to talk about a dominating win because you're just
Yeah.
going, that was fun, that was nice.
There
That was fun.
were a lot of Dallas fans at the game.
Really?
Ooh,
Lots
let's
of
hear.
Dallas
Let's hear
fans.
about this atmosphere. Was it like the
Not it
complete wettest nightmare
Yeah. What
ever?
did it look
no
like in the press box that you were sitting in?
to be it was almost perfect. It was
Really?
cold for sure. It was a December game, but didn't start like actually raining until probably at the very end of the third.
Hmm.
It's so like it
Mm.
rained all tailgate, but my tailgate, we have like a canopy, but like this we completely lucked out with the rain. It was great. Like I said, a lot of Dallas fans. Um,
What are
but
Dallas
overall,
fans doing up
just
there? I hope they traveled. I hope they aren't just like those, how Greg talks about like those kind of like loser Patriot fans are just like, well, they're the number one team. I'm gonna be fans of them.
Oh,
I
many,
think
many
there's a
Dallas
lot of
fans there were
Dallas
Toronto.
fans in Buffalo. I yeah, I think there's a lot of Dallas fans in Buffalo.
It's
Lou
Because
Southern
actually
Detroit.
brought
they're a
this point
popular
up
team.
too,
It's
because
Southern.
yes, they're a popular team, and you got to figure they were a big rival of the Bills back in the 90s, and there's definitely enough people who probably hated their dads who were like, I'm a fan up here, who are
Mhm.
like, I'm a Cowboys fan because my dad likes the Bills. But I
Those
mean, they're
people
a
are
well-traveled team.
those people are cowards. I'd say if you're gonna go that far, just don't like sports. Play D&D. Do other. Don't take the opposite approach of the same thing. It's loser
If you don't,
mentality.
if you don't like your dad, don't become a Cowboys fan. Be a man. Just sit next to him, make eye contact with him, and then slowly put your hand on his leg. That's how you get even with your dad if you don't like him. None of this Cowboy fan shit. It's Southern Ontario. That's who most of them are. I love Louis Theory because he hated his dad so much. But I think it's Southern Ontario. I'm just kidding, Louis. He will be happy. He'll be happy. Like I said, Louis hates his dad, and he'll be mad at that. But he will be happy he was mentioned on the pod, so he can't get too mad. He'll be like, "Oh,
Dude,
but
I'm picturing
they
him
did
driving
mention me."
around right now for sure, just like laughing and giggling to himself. We're gonna get a group text. He's the
Yeah,
king of making group chats.
yeah.
Mm.
It's too much.
Oh, all right. Calling him out on the pod.
Wow.
I tell him all the time.
Oh,
I go,
okay.
don't put me in group chats. I'll never respond. If you put me in a group chat, I'm not gonna fucking respond to you.
What do you what's a group? Could it be if it's just me, Blue, and Greg, that's a group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything more than one's,
Oh,
I
okay.
agree. I don't like them.
I hate them.
I'm against them as the
Unless they're, like I said, like obviously our group chat, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's half business, half pleasure.
so is everything I do.
All right, let's talk about the playoff picture here. 60% chance currently to make the playoffs according to a New York Times playoff simulator. Didn't get a lot of help this week. Browns,
No
Texans,
help.
and Bengals all won. That Browns dropped Hail Mary is
Oh my
insane.
God.
Insane. If you haven't seen that, the guy's lying on his back, the ball lands on him, and it's like he's a dog or he has money on the other team. He like throws the ball away from him. It would be tougher for him to have done that than to have caught the ball. It's truly pretty crazy.
It was
Um,
insane. There was so the Bengals lost to the Vikings in overtime,
yep.
and the Vikings were just crushing them in that game. That one made me want to throw up.
Texans won
The
in overtime.
In
Uh,
that game, the Titans were up by 2 scores in that
yep.
one forever, and they just puked that
Mhm.
one right up. They did us a huge favor last week, so I appreciate that. But those were bad. We did get, and of
Broncos,
course,
yeah,
we did get the Broncos losing. I think,
and the
not the
Steelers
Broncos losing.
lost.
Yeah, those two are huge. The Steelers were going to lose, I guess, but the
Yeah.
Broncos losing is actually kind of huge because they had the tiebreaker over you. So,
And hey, keep winning
that
and you're fine. And you know, so and you could even technically if you only win two of the three games, you still got a 50% chance of getting in. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Lot of football.
This game was perfect in almost every way. It was a great December game. But at the end of the game, I found myself mad, more mad
Mm,
that they didn't get rid of Ken Dorsey earlier in the year. Because
mm.
I think, again, if you get rid of Ken Dorsey in week 6 or 7, I think the Bills are in a playoff spot easily right now. And now we have to fucking sit here and hope Houston loses. They're
yeah.
starting a rookie quarterback with a rookie head coach who was a linebacker like 2 years ago. The guy's
And
riddled with CTE,
it's kind
and
of
his
like
team's great.
it's kind of like we said after the Denver game, where it's like we're kind of glad they lost because sometimes that shakes up. You know, a lot of people talking about Dorsey being kind of like a figurehead, firing and scapegoat, and I think in a small percentage he was because McDermott's not going to fire himself. But like this offense now, has it been 3 weeks, 4 weeks? It's been much better than it has the previous parts of the season, other than that Miami game. You know, the offense has been way better. So, you know.
It's pretty crazy the fact that they're this much better just by firing their offensive coordinator, and they have a guy that didn't do the job. I know he called plays before, but it's the same players. It's not like he's like got out like an old folder he had as an 8-year-old that said top secret plays on it and started doing them. Like they're doing basically the same shit. I'm hearing he's using more motion, and I'm thinking I'm seeing more motion, but is that it? It's just more motion. Should I be trying more motion in my life to see if that like should I stop sitting still so much? That really
Yeah.
throw people off?
And
You
also
and Tracy sitting in the living room watching TV, you're like, hey, come over here. And now go
No, no, go
back.
back. Now go back. Yeah. How does that
Perfect.
work? That get you
And
going?
these these last three teams not only were all good, but all good defenses too. No slouches recently.
I want to pat myself on the back here. I
Oh
did
God, you're giving
say,
yourself an olive
Oh,
branch?
you're normally so modest, Kyle.
Yeah.
I did say last week
Mhm.
that Dallas had beaten like nobody up until
Yeah,
that point, except for at that
we were on
time,
board.
Philly.
They're the Miami of the
And
NFC.
yeah, Miami. I don't know what to make of Miami. They whooped on the Jets today with no
They did.
Tyreek. But
Yeah.
the Jets couldn't get out of their own fucking way. They're terrible. Zach Wilson's so fucking bad.
And he only played
He's
like half the game. And then so it's going to be interesting next week, Miami versus Dallas, who finally big boys up and gets a win.
Yeah, we kind of showed people were saying that we kind of showed Miami how to beat Dallas. Just run the ball like crazy.
Well, we shall see. And before then, we should talk about our sponsor. Let's give it to a sleepy Kyle to talk about our sponsor.
Oh, our sponsor will be so happy. Can you get the guy who's barely awake to do it? Can you do?
I thought I was doing a good job holding it
You're doing great.
in.
Yeah, you did
Yes.
great.
By that do you
Um,
mean your sleep?
I love records.
Uh-huh.
Christmas is coming up, and if you want a record or you need a record, I got a place for you. Revolver Records in Buffalo, New York,
God, all right. I'll take I'll take it over.
and Williamsville, New York, and East Aurora, New York. They got 4 locations,
Mm.
one on Elmwood,
Yeah.
one on Hurdle, and
Mhm.
like I said,
Yeah, the other two.
Williamsville, I guess Main
Yeah.
Street, and then East Aurora. I don't know the name of that street, but they're out there.
It's
Mhm.
Transit Road, and then it's right next to the Vidlers and East Aurora. It's where everything is in East Aurora. It's right
Yeah.
there.
Wait, okay, so it's not in Williamsville?
Yes, it's Transit Road in Williamsville.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So you need and I don't think Phil, I think this was a huge thing
Mhm.
at the Transit Road location. He's got a pop cooler
Mhm.
that has like 100 different kinds of pop,
Yeah, it's fun.
like from all over the world. So if you're a big pop guy, go to the Transit Road location. You could get
Hey,
shit from Japan.
and you know what? That's what would make a better Christmas present. Go get some little
Pop.
soda stocking stuffers.
You go.
Yeah, that
I
is
like
kind of
this.
fun.
Yeah, thank you. I think pretty fun
I
idea.
had
And
when I was out there,
uh,
I had Gene Simmons cream soda.
how was it?
It was so bad.
That's not even that
It was honestly so
really
bad.
does exist. He's not kidding. It's
I'm not
Gene
lying, I
Simmons.
had it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, if you're, not in the Buffalo area, or even if you are, you go to revolverrecordsinc.com, use the promo code in the hunt 10 to get 10% off. I mean, this is the final days of Christmas shopping. Go get
Mhm.
yourself a record for a loved one, a liked one, a Kyle one, any of the
don't give me
in-betweens.
one. I got
Uh,
Spotify.
Jesus Christ, God. Don't promote the enemy during the sponsor promo.
if you want to support the podcast, go to patreon.com/in the hunt. You could sign up for as little as $1 a month. That's nothing. You know what will make a good stocking stuffer? Supporting the pod. Hey, friend, you love the Bills. You love talks of 9/11. Here's support this podcast where you can get the best of both worlds.
Start supporting us now before we make the Sean McDermott 9/11 t-shirt, just in case it
Yeah,
becomes something we give to Patreons. I'm not saying
exactly.
that's going to happen, and it
Yeah.
definitely will not, just in case
It's
we
too
all get
much
really, yeah.
even for us. But then if you support us for $6 a month, you get 2 bonus episodes a month, some fun episodes up there. And of course, our number one Patreon is our Joe B. That's Derek LeClaire. And Derek LeClaire, he's missed a couple weeks here and there. He hasn't been on top of his blurb game, but he sent in a heater
Mm,
this week.
let's hear it.
He goes, guys, I have some Jerry Jones facts for you. Uh, we have photographic evidence of him standing with angry segregationists in Little Rock in 1957. A stripper accused Jones of grabbing her genitals and forcibly kissing her in 2009. He paid her hush
Mm.
money in 2009 and 2013 and eventually got sued anyway. He got away with it because of statute of limitations. He was so in favor of the Bills leaving Buffalo that he told the media he was in favor of the Toronto Bon Jovi mix because there's nobody he has more respect for as a father or a husband than Bon Jovi, because rock stars are famously known as family men. He was also accused of sexual assault in 2018. He kissed a woman on the mouth and forcibly grabbed her without consent at AT&T Stadium. Trial date set for 2024. He reacted to the idea that there weren't enough coaches of color in the NFL by saying if blacks feel some quote, if blacks feel some kind of way, they should buy their own team and hire who they want to hire. His team had to pay $2.4 million to settle a lawsuit that his executives were taking videos of cheerleaders undressing. He has an illegitimate child and paid his mistress $2,000 and $500,000 to sign a confidentiality agreement to deny paternity, and he was caught picking his nose on national TV. That man is the biggest piece of shit walking the face of the earth, and I hope we cave
Oh,
the team's face in
Well,
on Sunday, and we did.
all
I don't
because
know if
of
he's the
that.
biggest piece of shit on earth. I mean, there's some bad,
That's true.
bad people.
It's not
That's
a
true.
competition you want to be in,
Yeah,
really.
that's true. I mean, even if you're top
He's
5,000,
definitely,
you
yeah, he's
know,
definitely on the naughty list for
Yeah.
Christmas. But
Yes,
I'm
I'll
on
not
tell
the
you.
saying
naughty list.
there's probably some people who are worse.
But that
Yeah.
was a hell of a blurb, Derek, and we thank you
Yeah.
for your support as always. Um, you guys ready for some trivia?
I was born ready for this moment.
Okay, get yourself a nice Tim Settle jersey. Huh?
Okay.
Okay,
That'd be nice. Yeah,
sure.
okay. Okay. So we got 4 rounds, tiebreakers if necessary. Is this person on our practice squad or not?
Damn
This
it.
is
I
a
never look
game.
at this.
If it's to give you a little added hint here, I'm gonna give you a player's name and their position. Spelling is available if you'd like spelling. And if it's a fake name, it's a name I just completely made up, you know.
Okay.
So
So
we'll
it's
start
not
with
like there's a
Greg.
player in the NFL that's just not on our. I get it.
Correct.
Okay.
Greg, your name. Kyron Brown, cornerback.
That sounds familiar.
Kyron.
I think he was on my training camp fantasy football team. So this might be an unfair advantage, but I'm going to say yes. Kyron Brown is a Bill. Practice squad
He
player.
is. He's on our practice squad. Correct. Kyle, to you. Andrew Brown, defensive tackle.
No.
Incorrect. That's a player on our practice squad.
I wouldn't have known that. I
One
would have
nothing,
said
Greg. Greg, Shane Bukeli, quarterback.
Shane Bukeli, a quarterback. Quarterbacks, you got to know.
B
What
U
did this
E
guy? What was this guy play at Hofstra? No,
Buechele. I
you have
think
to
it's
spell it.
Bukeli.
He's not a Bills practice squad quarterback. Shane Bukeli.
He
No,
is. He is on our
damn
practice
it.
squad as a
What movie
quarterback.
was he in? Oh, he was the lawyer in Iron Man 2.
No, he's a quarterback on our roster, Greg. And
Who
Kyle,
Kelly?
Oh.
your name, Kyle, to try and tie it up. Kevin Jarvis, offensive lineman.
Yes.
Good job. 1-1.
1-1,
At the halfway
okay.
point, Greg, your name. Trey McKitty, tight end.
McKitty?
McKitty. McKitty.
TT. It didn't. I thought it was DD. That doesn't change it. I'm gonna say no.
It is tight
Damn
end.
it.
That's a real tight
It's
end
a
on our practice
stupid
squad.
fucking tight end. How many tight ends do we need? We got Reggie Gilliam. We don't need
He
another tight
was
end.
he was like a third round pick not too long
Was
ago.
he
That's
really?
pretty crazy.
What the hell do you know? What the fuck do you
Yeah,
know
what do you
about
know about
third
Trey
round pick tight
McKitty?
ends? What do you
He
think he
was
is?
drafted by the Chargers.
Wow. Fantasy football guru over here. Louis
Yeah.
probably taught him
Well,
about, oh, you got to get Trey
Uh-huh.
McKitty. He's going to be huge next year.
no, I don't say so good. Who's that? Ron
I
Wolf over
mean,
here?
those are almost legitimately word for word things I have said for sure.
All right, Kyle, you can take the lead here. This is big. Herb Miller, cornerback.
Who?
Herb
Herb,
Miller, cornerback.
Herb Miller?
Like Herb?
Herb.
Herb. No.
That is a person on our practice squad.
Who?
What? Herb Miller?
How
Herb
many
Miller.
people
How the
are
hell do
on
you
a practice
succeed?
squad?
How do you
Okay,
succeed in life when your name is Herb Miller?
going into the final round. Greg, this is big. Your
Hmm.
name, Dorrance Tasker linebacker.
That's got to be Steve Tasker's mom's name. No, Dorrance Tasker's not on the practice squad.
That is a fake name.
Oh, thank
Well
God.
done. Kyle, you need this to tie. Trey Norwood, cornerback.
No. Shit.
That is a name. There's only one fakie. Greg sniffed it out. Greg, congrats. You win
That's messed up,
the
man. You
Tim
cheated.
Settle jersey. I hope you wear it on the pod next week.
Yeah, if it existed, I would.
It's exciting.
I'm pretty excited about winning. I'm not
I
in
think
it for the jerseys. I'm just in it for the beating Kyle.
well, Kyle's like the
They
Cowboys out
say
there.
they
He
say
doesn't
don't
have
kick
his heart
a
in it.
they say don't kick a man when he's down, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay kicking Kyle when he's down. It's okay with me. I don't think
Well,
Kyle minds either. I don't think anything's bothering him today.
next week we're home for the Chargers. Saturday night. We open as 14-point favorites. The
Jesus.
Chargers just lost 63 to 21, which means they're going to come in pissed. They're going to come in pissed, Kyle. They're going to be riding that the energy of having a new head coach, interim coach Giff Smith, and you know that quarterback that's going to blow up any day now, Easton Stick. So Easton Stick and Giff Smith are going to come in. Uh,
It sounds so made up.
I I'm
um,
not gonna lie to you. I the key to the game was going to be remind Easton Stick that his name stinks. And now the head coach's name is worse.
What is
What
it?
a
GIF?
I
crazy
believe it's Giff
duo
Smith. He
of bad names.
kind of looks like John C. Riley in a little bit.
Oh
What's this guy's name? Giff Smith?
Jeff, I think it's Giff. I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce it, but
It doesn't matter. You won't have to worry about it in a couple
Oh, this
weeks.
dude's a fucking goofball. Oh my God.
kind
This
of looks like
guy.
John C. Riley,
This
right? A
guy
little bit.
looks like he shows up to practice with a six pack for sure.
Well, another must-win game. This team's on the ropes. Is it a trap game? Are you worried? Uh, what do you think?
I'm incredibly worried.
Hmm.
I mean, just the way they played bad games. I don't, I love to think that they're out of it, but I don't, I'm not positive of that. I ain't gonna put money on, them winning this game. That's for sure.
Kyle.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm always worried. Nothing.
Okay.
I'm excited that they get to, I imagine, play a game in perfect weather.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a while
It's been a
since
while since there was perfect weather. Thank you for teeing that up for me. It's been a while
yes.
since I got to do that.
So yeah, I feel, it should be good weather and you're facing a interim head coach and a backup quarterback. I mean, this could be bad.
Yeah, I'd like to think this has that Washington game with it written all over it, where it's just kind of, gets out of hand quickly, hopefully.
In a good way, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and
Like they,
because you don't want to look past them, but like you'd like to hope they handle business against the Chargers and Patriots, and then, let the other teams do what they do, and then see what's left to do,
Dude,
the
could
last
you
week with Miami.
imagine losing to Giff Smith?
It's gonna hurt if we lose this or the New England game. It's gonna hurt bad.
oh, it'll be like the Willie Parker game all over again.
Hmm.
I know Willie Parker eventually became a good player, but it's like, who the fuck was that guy that we just lost to?
Well, Giff Smith ain't becoming. That's not a
Hey,
guy
maybe
that.
this is his ticket to the
No,
the big show.
no. You'll never hear Giff Smith win the Super Bowl. That's just not a name that wins the Super Bowl,
No, it's not. Jeff Smith doesn't
right?
win
It's
anything.
not. It's a great interim head coach name.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good
We've
Sean
we've
trivia name.
promoted we've promoted Giff Smith, and everyone, huh? That's I
Yeah.
didn't
Well,
even
I
know that
think
guy was on the team.
who's the Chargers OC again? He's
I think
like
it's
Kellen
Kellen
Moore.
Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen
He's thought
Moore,
of
yeah.
highly, and I don't know if they offered it to him, but I thought I remember reading an article that was like he didn't want it because he didn't want to fuck with his possibility of being hired as a head coach next year. Because
I think
that's how bad that Chargers team is now. It's not like the Raiders, that interim guy took over the Raiders. They at least had a fighting shot. Like this Chargers team is pretty well sunk, as we saw uh that 63-21 game against the Raiders, who also aren't that great.
yeah.
It's
No,
going
I
to
think
be
you're right
pretty
about that.
crazy when Bill Belichick goes there next year.
They'd be
Uh,
stupid. I think he's done.
We're getting wild, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, do we want to? Are we feeling
No.
better about the playoff chances? I mean, big win. They've looked great the last 3 weeks, even with that Philly kind of loss.
So if you read my blog, which you don't worry, not,
I
and
It's
I'm
been
talking
getting a
about
lot of
everyone. You
likes
have to, because
recently.
it did pretty good this week. But what I'm
Likes are
saying
off
is
the charts.
there's five. There's
It's
five
a
likes.
small chart, though.
Yeah.
It's a very small share. But the point is I'm not trying to get you to read it. But I am addicted to the ESPN playoff machine. Like I have a tab on my computer, it's constantly there. And if I just have downtime, I'll just go on it and do permutations, like who won what game. And I do like there's no auto set. I look at each game and trying to decide who's going to win, even NFC. And it's not easy to get like they have to win out if Miami's going to win, like just assume that the Dolphins do beat Baltimore and beat Dallas, because it's possible. They look
Yeah.
good today. Last week it didn't look as good, but they can. You can't make it in. Like you have to win your last three games. So you have to beat them. So if you I think you need to think of this as Bill fans, as you have to win all three in order to make the playoffs, because it really gets tough. The
Well,
things you need to happen aren't going to happen.
they technically can win two of the three, and they have roughly
Yes.
a 50% chance of getting in, depending how other games fall. But
I don't
like,
like how those games have to fall, though.
yeah,
I don't have faith in it happening, is what I'm trying to say.
running the
So,
table should get you in, almost
oh, running the
definitely.
table. Well, running
Yeah,
the table, I think you're in almost like your
almost
chances
definitely.
are
Yeah.
are almost 100%, as a matter of fact. But unless like because I don't think like the Bengals can run the table and the Texans can win the table. Someone in there plays each other, so it's not possible. So running, finishing it is that. The Browns play the Texans, so I don't know, something like that. And they play the Colts. So the Texans and Colts play, so that they both can't run the table. It's something like that.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna
Gotcha.
stop talking. No one's listening to this pod anymore. They're like, holy cow, I can't
Yeah.
believe he kept talking that entire time. So
I definitely stopped
I know, I'm
listening.
sorry.
Well, quickly, what do you
To
think?
you of all people, yes.
Saturday night game, fun? Do you like that you don't got to watch the team Christmas Eve? Like,
I'm excited. I love a Saturday night game.
Mm,
The whole next day kind of off. I mean, it's kind of work for everybody. Christmas Eve is work.
no.
And unless you're sad and alone, then it's
Jesus.
probably not work.
Mm.
But
But if you're sad and
Chris,
alone, there's no work. Like, what are you doing? Like, you don't have
That's
to
true.
impress
Well,
anyone.
and it's
yeah.
like I always say, I mean, Kyle tells this to me in private, but if you're sad and alone on the holidays, go over to Kyle's house. He welcomes
Yeah.
everyone in because, hey, don't be alone on the holidays. Come in. I got food in the oven. Let's talk bills. It's a nice little thing he does around the holidays.
If someone came over and they had nobody, I would let them in.
Well,
Unless
Wow.
they're weird, then I wouldn't let them in.
unless they're weird.
You
What would
can
be your
come
test?
over. You
Hey, I
could
listened
come
to the
over.
pod. Can I come in and now get out of here?
My
They're
test
weird.
I would have a 2-minute conversation with you. And if that you didn't make eye contact with me and kind of looked around, I would kick you out of my apartment.
So it's like a job interview. You can
Yeah.
come to my house and you can
Yeah.
have a good time. You can stay and you're never alone. But first you got to pass the test.
Yeah.
It's
I like
the
that.
autism test.
Yeah.
Can you hold a 2-minute conversation without being weird?
Kyle's gonna immediately like throw math at you. And if you could do it, he's like, no, get out of here. What's 64 times 17? No, that's 482. No, get out of here.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. I like how open you are, Kyle. It's too bad Jesus didn't come to your inn.
Yeah. I've been saying that for years.
Still be alive.
That doesn't make sense, but okay.
What are you
That's
talking
not
about?
why
He's
he
this-
died. He didn't
he's-
die in the manger. The manger,
He's
he
the son of
thrived.
God.
I know.
If Kyle's around,
He did technically die though, so I don't know how to tell you how wrong you are, but you're not exactly
No,
wrong. So
I like this. I like
you get
this.
away with
Same.
one. You get
Kyle
It's
away
the
would've-
with one.
butterfly effect. If he came to my house,
Yes.
and he
Kyle
would
would
have
have
ended up
protected him.
different.
He would have
We'll
been
tell
walking
you.
around.
He wouldn't be the son of God. He would just be a carpenter, and that's
No,
it.
I think
He was always the son of God.
We
we're gonna
don't
get
know
letters.
that.
We're gonna get letters.
Trust me.
I like the idea of just Kyle walking around his bodyguard. Was it Romans over there? Hey, mind your business. All right. Got Jesus coming through.
Punch you, so I'm gonna punch you. Stay away from the baby Jesus. He passed the test. He's not autistic. That's our next Patreon t-shirt is the baby Jesus is not autistic. And on the back it says he's welcome.
And we'd like to apologize to any
Everybody. Just
everyone.
basically
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm sure we have
Like,
autistic listeners.
I
and
was gonna say, out of anyone,
9/11.
I'm apologizing to the autistic community.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything you do. Ruin social situations. Sorry.
Okay. Well, if any, I don't think we get, good thing we don't get emails anymore because we did a lot on 9/11. The Kyle went off on autistic
Do you
people.
remember? Do you remember during the draft where they took Allen and Greg wouldn't let me say Josh Rosen is Jewish? And how far we've come since then?
No.
No, I don't think you're misremembering.
No, you were saying he's a Jew. And like the way you can say that phrase is not, I wasn't
I have a
comfortable
deep
with it.
voice.
He is a Jewish person. No, you can't say a Jew. Like you can't
Well, and also
Bless you.
stay away from that phrase. You can say, yeah,
Yeah,
just
come on, that was
also
a great
the
joke.
autism thing. But you can say he's a Jewish, like if he's Jewish, he's Jewish. There's nothing wrong
And also,
with
let's remember the context. You were going
Yes.
over negative things about the
That's right,
quarterback,
that's right,
and
that's
Greg was
right.
worried you were going to say it's because he's Jewish. And I think you did a whole thing about how he was a Quaker or something
Yeah.
like that, like
Yeah.
the Quaker Oats guy.
His mom was a Quaker.
Yeah.
I read it
Yeah.
on Wikipedia.
Yeah. So I think Greg was worried about you going down a bad route
Oh.
because he knows how your brain works.
Yeah.
I'm saving you from yourself, Kyle.
I was
But now-
new to podcasting.
Yeah, but
and
now
people
we-
weren't getting canceled back then.
But now we know Kyle's out there. He's protecting baby Jesus. He's, stopping future 9/11s from happening in his day
Mark
job. So,
Wahlberg.
yeah. He's the Mark Wahlberg of Buffalo. I've always said that about you. Okay, I hope this podcast was okay. We're sorry about all the borderline offensive things
Hey man.
and non-borderline offensive things.
I'm willing to bet that
Yeah.
people who listen to
we were
us,
almost done. We were almost
people who listen to us aren't gonna get to that and be like, that's the final straw.
That's true. They would have left a long time ago.
100%.
You guys, anything to plug?
No.
Okay.
No.
It didn't work last time.
Well, that's it. We'll see you next week. I guess we'll see you all before the holiday. Sign up for the Patreon for Christmas. Support us, and we appreciate it if you already do. And go Bills. What a win, huh?
Sweeto. Play the song.
The Bills won.